Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to say happy first week back at school. I know there are some challenges. I know there's anxiety about starting the first week, whether you are new to the school or new to teaching, or you're a veteran and you're counting your years to retirement, or you know because of your experience what the future will bring over the next 9 to 10 months. But understand that this is the profession that we chose. This is the profession that we chose as educators. And as an educator, it is great to be in an environment that is motivating. It is great to be in an environment that is inspirational. But you have to understand, number one, that that's not going to be the case for everyone. And if you're in an environment where it's not motivational or inspirational, you have to be that motivation. You have to be that inspiration. If you notice, I included a video entitled "Every Child or Every Kid Needs a Champion." And if you watch that video, it's a very inspirational video. We would love to have I believe her name is Rita Pearson, in our schools to keep us motivated. But we are the motivation. As teachers, that is what we get paid to do. As educators, that is our job, is to be motivators, to be sources of inspiration. And just like anything else, we have to motivate ourselves or find other motivation if that motivation is not in the schoolhouse. Whatever it may be, whatever it gets you excited every day, whatever motivates you every day, you have to tap into that source. Because our job, our primary job as educators, especially if you are a teacher or an instructional leader, is to create context and model. If you know nothing about teaching, if you can understand the concepts of creating context and then modeling what you want the students to be able to do, that's half the battle, more than half the battle of being an effective instructional practitioner. But with that comes one's ability to be able to get excited about instruction. So, although we would love to have schoolhouses that were the source of inspiration and motivation that we could tap into, the reality is, if that's not your reality, you have to be that reality. So you have to figure that out. It would be a great thing if all schools were the fountain of inspiration, the fountain of motivation, in which faculty and students and community could tap from. But the reality is that's not the case anywhere in the world. And especially the case here in Saudi Arabia. Because in this country, everyone's trying to figure out what's going on as it relates to education. Saudi Arabia is trying to establish an education identity. They're trying to establish a pedagogical approach for the nation, for their nation. And it is our job, and some of us are not Saudi, many of us are not Saudi in this association. So they look upon us. They look for us to help them create that fountain, to help establish that identity. So we have to be extra motivated. We have to be extra inspired. And we have to be extra knowledgeable. And that's the intent of APIA. The intent of this association is to get you where you need to be from a knowledge perspective, so you are competent in the classroom, and from a motivational perspective. APIA, I want APIA to be that fountain of inspiration that we can tap in from one another. Even I have moments where I get a little frustrated, but again, I find my source of motivation. I find my source of inspiration. So every time I walk into my classroom, I can be a champion for my students. Am I always perfect at it? No, we're human beings. But I try my best as much as I possibly humanly can to be motivated when I walk in that classroom so I can be a champion for my students. So please, I want everyone to continue to express their frustrations, but I also want you to be a self-starter. I also want you to take care of yourself. I want you to do the things that you need to do so when you walk into that classroom, you are someone's champion. And I need you to be mentally inspired. I need you to be physically prepared. And I need you to be knowledgeable. And I want to help you in that process. So do not expect schools. Do not expect schools to be the fountain of your inspirational motivation. Do not expect schools to give you continuous education. We are professionals. At the end of the day, it is our responsibility. This is why APIA exists. We're going to hold hands with one another and be each other's sources of inspiration. We're going to be each other's sources of motivation, and we're going to be each other's sources of knowledge. I'm here to help you in any time. I hope that helps someone out. I hope that's not too harsh for anyone. If it is, that's just what we call a harsh reality. Do not expect your schools to do the job that you're paid to do. Be that source of motivation in your school. Set the standard. Set that standard so that standard can become contagious. So you can get the school where it needs to be as an organization. Ray Roberts, hope you have a wonderful day. Please set up your classrooms. Make sure they're inviting for your students. Make sure they're welcoming for your students. Those teachers who do not have classrooms and share classrooms, pick a side of the classroom to make your own. Make sure you're displaying students' work as this what is the source of their motivation. We'll talk to you soon.